Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and this is the 7th edition of Ask Your Wasteland Reviewer. And this is a special video that I'm putting together after I just hit 400 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And it's almost 5 years to the day since I started this channel back in 2016. And it's an exciting moment. And, you know, I don't do this as like a way of making a living. I love to talk movies, and I watch a lot of movies, watch even more movies, and I watch about anything. And it's exciting to get lost in so many different kinds of films, and then being able to share my thoughts and have conversations with all of you through YouTube or Instagram or through some of the websites that I write for, which all of that has come out of this. And I started writing reviews back in like early January 2016 and felt much more comfortable doing these videos. And, 5 years later of doing these videos, hitting 400 subscribers and hopefully more, it's really awesome that I have people out there who actually care about what I think and want to listen to, and hopefully you've been able to check out some films based off of my recommendations, because that's my approach to things. I used to do grades. I don't really do them anymore because I care more about recommending films to people who would enjoy them. And some of them I get very excited about, and some of them I'm not very excited about, and I don't enjoy the part of shit-talking movies, and I try not to do it too much, but this is a special outlet that I get to have, and I appreciate all of you tuning in. And so I have a range of questions from Instagram, from my podcast buddies, and some of my close friends as well. So I hope you appreciate some of these questions and my answers to them. So we're going to get started. This question is from Valerie, who I've known since Rider, and she asked, what's my advice for people who are trying to start a YouTube channel? And I think the most important thing to think about is, what's your intention? Is this something that you're going to try to make something out of, which is really hard and a big investment, both time, energy, and money? Like, I don't have the most elaborate setup. I have a relatively inexpensive camera on a pretty cheap Amazon Basics tripod with some soft boxes, and I do my best with it. Like, if this was something that was like becoming bigger and really expanding, I might put some more money into it. But for now, I have my notes most of the time and do my videos and talk about these films and do my different shows that I have and have the setup that I have. But if this is something that you really want to make something into, be prepared to understand that you're going to have to put in an investment. So first off, figure out your intention. If you're just doing this for fun, do your thing and figure out what you want to do this for. I did this to talk to people about movies, and I've met plenty of people through this and connected with people, and I've chatted movies with them. So I always love when you leave a comment so that we could talk about things. Always keep them respectful and reasonable, and we could have a great conversation about these movies. Also think about what you want to do. And like, these are not elaborate reviews with cut-in scenes from the movie or big graphics. It's more like a video vlog. More like a vlog. And I'm on here, I tell my thoughts right to the camera, right to all of you. And I have fun doing that, and that's my approach to things. Feels more organic, and yes, I do have like an idea of what I'm going to be saying when I go into these videos, but I want it to feel like I'm just having a conversation with you. That's how I write too. That's why I have so many rhetorical questions in all the articles that I write. I'm sure some of you have noticed. But you want to figure out what you're doing and what your expectation is, and the content that you're doing, and the approach that you want to take with it, and knowing the investment that you want to put in. I put a lot into this in terms of time, and it's an investment, but it's worth it to me because I really enjoy doing this, and I know some people watch the videos and get recommendations from them, and I really appreciate that. So that means the best. So really understand what you hope to get out of this and understand your expectations. I think those are the biggest things that I would say to a YouTuber. And start small. And I started on the webcam on my laptop, which looks like crap, especially the one that I had pre the laptop that I have now. And now I have a camera and I have the soft boxes, and hopefully it makes things look better. My now fiance, which is pretty new to say, Jess, asked me how my taste in movies have changed since I started doing this. And I could even say before I got to college, I would avidly watch, like Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Rocky and Lord of the Rings. I'm still up there. And those kinds of big franchises, the big fun adventures. I used to watch Delta Farce a lot with Larry the Cable Guy. I used to watch Paul Blart Mall Cop a lot with Kevin James. And, those are my kinds of things. I got to college and joined Alternative Films Club, and that really broadened my horizons in terms of independent, foreign, and classic cinema. And I really started expanding things like watching the Coen Brothers for the first time, or watching Mad Max for the first time. And they really expanded things for me, getting into Kubrick. I remember seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey for the first time my freshman year of college when I bought a TCM Classic pack of 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Time Machine with Rod Taylor, Forbidden Planet with Leslie Nielsen and Walter Pidgeon, and Soylent Green with Charlton Heston, who we'll talk about later. But that really started to expand things, and then since doing these videos, and when I got into the point where I was literally reviewing anything and watching anything and everything, it's really, I look at films in a different way. I'm always looking at the cinematography, I'm always looking at the direction, I'm looking at the acting, I'm looking at those things no matter what I'm watching. There's two layers to what I'm doing, is analyzing it and enjoying it. And it's a different approach now. And definitely my taste in movies have broadened since I've watched so many different things. I've gotten a lot more into foreign language films. I've gotten more into anime. And definitely more into art house cinema. And it's exciting to see what people can do in terms of the art form that is film. And I feel like my tastes have grown a lot in that. And I'm also a lot less forgiving of stuff and have a lot higher standard. Self-professed action movie snob. Right there. Better be able to see all the action going on, because otherwise, what's the point? But I feel like those are the ways that my tastes have changed over that time. So Paige, one of my very close friends and my fiance's best friend, brought up how she's going to be maid of honor. She's very excited. And my friend Matt also brought up weddings and thinking about some of my favorite wedding scenes in film. And my number one by far is the beginning of The Godfather. And it is so perfect in the way that it captures Italian-American culture. And I love that it's a long sequence at the beginning of the film. You spend a lot of time there, and they set up so much in terms of this film and these characters and where this film is going. And I think that's so important. And it's such a scene with so much depth and enjoyment and context to it. It works so well. And you have more fun ones. Like, I didn't want them to get married, but Princess Buttercup and Prince Humperdinck and the whole marriage, what brings us together today? And just like that part of it is so funny and so enjoyable. And there's all kinds of different wedding scenes and films about weddings. You have Bridesmaids and stuff like that. But definitely The Godfather, and even just that small gag in Princess Bride get me all the time. And I always enjoy 4 Weddings and a Funeral. So many weddings. but definitely The Godfather is my favorite wedding scene. Jess also brought this up from Reddit, because this had been going around, was most devastating scene, that scene that always gets you every time you watch a film. My initial scene was Billy's suicide and what happens to McMurphy in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That hits me so hard every single time. I really want to be the one struggling Nurse Ratched. But the one scene that really hits emotionally every time is Brooks Was Here from The Shawshank Redemption. James Whitmore and that performance and that whole sequence is just terrible and encapsulates the issues with our prison system, and just such a sad and somber moment, and just bam, gets you. And to a lesser extent, because it's a newer film, but the 3 times I think I've watched Jojo Rabbit, the shoes, and that's all I'm going to say. Really get you. And basically the whole entire film of Schindler's List, but that's kind of a given. I'm Vinny from the Movie Club on the Development Hell podcast. Jokingly said this, but I was going to include this anyway. His favorite way to eat ice cream. And I am a big soft serve person, a custard person. I like it in a cup. And have my spoon. Makes it a lot easier to eat. I might occasionally, before I start digging in with the spoon, try to like gulp up a couple, like some of the ice cream like swirled up to the top. But otherwise, I like to try to keep it as clean as possible. I enjoy the spoon, the cup, and my soft serve and custard. So more information I think you probably would have expected to learn about Shane in terms of his ice cream intake, which I'm a huge fan. In terms of this next one, this is from Jim from the Movie Club. Asked me who I would get to direct, star in, and score my biopic, which is very interesting. So, like, if I want to think outside the box, like, it would be a Stranger kind of adaptation. It would totally be the Coen brothers directing it, because, like, I blend so well with their sensibility about things, and I've met very many characters in my life, and have very many characters in my life, and I feel like they would be able to capture them pretty well. But if you're going strictly from like a feeling and an understanding, I feel like a Francis Ford Coppola would understand the very Italian-American upbringing that I had, and I think that would be a strong connection there. In terms of an actor who would play me, definitely older would be Jermaine Clement, because, you know, honestly, people tell me I kind of look like him. I think it's the mutton chops. Obviously, I completely shaved off a lot of my hair within the past couple days, which was actually last night before recording this, and I think like, I could definitely see it. And in terms of who would play me just in general as like a younger person, I know people have told me that I kind of, like, some people have told me I look like Oscar Isaac, and I'm like, not sure about that. But, like, thinking about, like, a younger actor, I don't know. Honestly, it's like I'm trying to think, like, who are, like, young Italian-American actors, and there's not a lot of young Italian-American actors. Like, obviously, so many people who pop up are, like, classic young Italian actors, but, like, here's some young people. I love Italian movies, and these are, like, Italian actors. I don't know if that would necessarily work, but I'll get back to that one. But I guess, like, as I get older, it would totally be Jermaine Clement, because I feel like that would work really well. Matt, my best friend and also member of the Development Hell podcast and has been on my shows plenty of times, asked me what film I would recommend to my fiancée Jess to watch. And basically, she's seen a lot of these. But the two that came to my mind first were The Little Hours, starring Aubrey Plaza, Alison Brie, John C. Reilly, Dave Franco, Nick Offerman, about these rambunctious nuns that get in all kinds of trouble. I think she would really enjoy it and enjoy the sensibility about it. But also The Proposition, which is a meat pie western, so an Australian western with Guy Pearce, John Hurt, Danny Huston, Ray Winstone. It's a great film. It has such a great look to it. Who would read my audiobook? So this was a question from, like, Vinny's actual question. The audiobook of my life would be read by Charlton Heston. Shane Kanto was born November 19th, 1991. And I'd just be like, listen to the whole entire thing. All at once, just taking all that Charlton Heston. Like, even him having the voiceover at the beginning of Armageddon, so great. Like, the few lines that he has in True Lies or Tombstone, it just works. Or Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell would be a lot of fun to voice my autobiography. What would be, so my friend Paige asked, what would be the title of the documentary of my life? Where does he have the time? Because I feel like that's the thing that I'm asked more than anything. And I like to keep myself busy. I'm not somebody who could just sit there and, like, I don't nap. I don't space. Well, I space out. That's a lie. But, like, thinking about, I'm always watching something. I'm always analyzing something. I'm always playing something. Like, I'm always doing something. Keeping my mind busy. And I feel like that would encompass my life, is where does he find the time? So my documentary would be called Shane Kanto, Where Does He Have the Time? And just jokingly asked me, what are 5 objects that you would need to summon me from a pentagram? Because, you know, okay. A biscuit, as in like a biscuit, not a cookie. I'm from New Jersey, I'm not from England, so like an actual biscuit. A DVD of Shrek. I feel like that would be an important one. A pocket watch. When I'm in better shape and can fit in them. I wear vests a lot, and my pocket watch, I have a pocket watch collection. I like to be classy. You can't tell that from right now, but I do. And my record, my vinyl of 2112. And what was the last thing that I said? Oh, a calculator. Specifically one of like Texas Instrument ones, because it has to have a random number generator on it. I use that a lot more than you might expect, because I have spreadsheets for everything and randomly select things a lot. So there you go. And, you know, getting back to, I have an idea. I can have Josh Peck play me in my in my biopic. There you go. I'm going to go with Josh Peck. We both were larger kids, larger teens, and got in better shape. He has stayed in better shape. I need to get my ass in shape. But we're going to work on it. But I think that would be interesting. I probably could find a better one. But that's something that popped into my head. And I completely forgot to say who would do the score. If the Coen brothers directed it, obviously I would have to have Carter Burwell do the score, and I'd be perfectly happy with that. If Francis Ford Coppola directed it, I want Alexandre Desplat. I want something quirky but sincere and classy sounding. And that's Desplat. But those are all the questions that I have for this special video. I hope you all had some fun with this. I know I was definitely going to have fun with this and enjoyed this quite a bit. So, and, you know, you don't need to use a pentagram to summon me. You just give me a call. You can message me on Instagram, comment on one of my videos, and I'll reply to you. So, yeah, you don't need to summon me that way. I'm not some, like, kind of creepy ancient spirit. So, I'm just a almost 30-year-old from New Jersey who loves movies and loves talking about them. And for some reason, people out there actually enjoy listening to me talk about them and engaging with me about it. So that's pretty cool. But I appreciate all of you tuning into this video, and I appreciate all of you out there. All of you that are a part of those 401 subscribers as I was starting this video, and all of the rest of you who just watch my videos and happen upon them, watch a video and like, you know what, I'm going to check out that movie. I hope that happens, because that's what this is all about, is spreading the love of cinema. Because I spend a lot of time and a lot of energy talking, watching, analyzing film. So, thank all of you for tuning in and always supporting your Wasteland reviewer.